Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. Right now, you might feel like you're at your breaking point, like life has thrown everything it has at you and you're running on empty. But let me tell you something. This is not where your story ends. This is where it begins. Pain is something every single person on this planet experiences. It comes in different forms, physical, emotional, mental, but no matter what kind of pain you're dealing with, one thing is certain, it is temporary. The problem is that when you're in the middle of it, it feels like it's going to last forever. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, convincing you that this is your new reality, that things will never get better. That's the moment where most people give up. They let the pain win. They decide that it's easier to quit than to push through, and that decision changes everything. The truth is, pain is not the real enemy. The real enemy is the belief that you can't handle it. When you convince yourself that the discomfort is too much, you surrender. But here's what you need to understand. Quitting doesn't take the pain away. It only makes it permanent. When you stop pushing forward, when you decide that something is too hard, you are cementing your struggle as a permanent part of your life. You are choosing to live in it instead of moving through it. Think about a time in your life when you faced something that felt impossible. Maybe it was heartbreak. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was rejection or loss. In that moment, you thought you couldn't handle it, but you did. You're still here. You're still breathing. You got through it, whether you realize it or not. That's proof that pain is temporary. It doesn't last forever, but the choices you make in the middle of it can have lasting consequence. If you choose to quit, if you choose to let pain define you, you might escape the immediate discomfort, but you create something far worse, regret. Regret is a pain that never goes away. It lingers, it follows you, it reminds you every single day that you had a choice and you chose to stop. That's the pain you should fear. Not the discomfort of pushing forward, but the weight of knowing you could have kept going and didn't. Because the truth is, you can take the pain, you are stronger than you think, your body can handle more, your mind can push further, and your heart can endure more than you ever imagined. The only reason you don't believe that is because you've never truly tested your limits. The most successful people, the ones who accomplish the impossible, the ones who create legacies, they don't avoid pain, they embrace it. They understand that pain is not a punishment, it's a teacher. It shows you what you're made of, it forces you to grow, it strips away the weakness, the excuses, the doubts, and leaves behind only the strongest, most resilient version of you. But you will never meet that version of yourself if you give up when things get hard. Every time you push past your pain, you become someone new. Every time you refuse to quit, you build mental and emotional muscle. Every time you decide that the struggle is worth it, you take another step toward the life you were meant to live. It's not easy, it's not supposed to be, but it's necessary. Because the only way to reach the other side of pain is to walk straight through it. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It controls everything. Your actions, your decisions, your emotions. It dictates how you respond to challenges, how you handle setbacks, and whether you push forward or give up. But here's the reality. If you don't control your mind, it will control you. And if you let it control you, it will keep you small. It will keep you stuck, and it will convince you that you are less capable than you actually are. Most people don't realize that their thoughts are shaping their entire reality. They let negative thinking run wild, feeding their doubts, their insecurities, and their fears. They believe every single thought that enters their head, even the ones that tell them they're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. And because they believe it, they act on it. They hesitate, they procrastinate, they avoid challenges, and they convince themselves that success is for other people. They let their mind dictate their actions instead of taking control and deciding what they allow themselves to believe. Fear is one of the biggest ways the mind controls people. The moment you think about stepping outside your comfort zone, fear kicks in. It starts whispering all the reasons why you should stay where you are, why you should play it safe, why you shouldn't take the risk. And if you listen to that fear, if you let it run the show, you never take action, you never step up, you never become the person you are meant to be. Because fear is always there waiting for you to give in. The people who succeed, the people who create extraordinary lives, are the ones who acknowledge the fear but don't obey it. They feel the fear and take action anyway. Discipline is what separates those who control their minds from those who are controlled by their minds. Discipline means doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. It means choosing to think differently even when your mind is screaming at you to stay comfortable. It means training yourself to focus on what moves you forward instead of what holds you back. The mind loves comfort. It loves familiarity. It will always try to pull you back into what feels safe, even if that safety is keeping you stuck. That's why you have to override it. You have to make the conscious choice to think differently, to act differently, to refuse to let negative thoughts dictate your actions. When you start taking control of your mind, everything changes. You begin to see obstacles as challenges instead of roadblocks. You start pushing yourself past limits you once thought were impossible. You stop letting fear paralyze you and start using it as fuel. Your thoughts create your reality, and the moment you realize that, you stop being a prisoner to the doubts, the worries, and the excuses that used to hold you back. You have to train your mind just like you would train your body. You don't get stronger by lifting weights once. You don't become disciplined by making the right choice one time. It's a daily practice. Every time a negative thought enters your mind, you have a choice. Do you accept it or do you challenge it? Do you let it dictate your reality or do you replace it with something stronger? The battle is happening every single day, whether you realize it or not. And if you're not actively working to control your thoughts, they are actively working to control you. Struggles are a part of life. No one escapes them. No one is exempt from hardship, from failure, from moments that feel unbearable. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not the absence of struggle, but how they choose to see it. Most people look at struggles as obstacles, as reasons to stop, as signs that they are not meant to move forward. They take difficulty as proof that they should quit, but that's the wrong way to see it. Struggles are not there to stop you. They are there to shape you, to prepare you, to push you toward the next level of your life. Every great success story is built on struggle. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has faced moments where it seemed impossible. They have been rejected, they have failed, they have been knocked down over and over again, but they didn't let that be the end of their story. They understood that struggle is not a signal to stop. It is a setup for a breakthrough. It is a test to see if you are truly ready for the life you say you want. Because if you are not willing to fight through the hard times, you will never be strong enough to handle the rewards that come after them. Most people run from struggle. They avoid it, they resist it, they wish for an easier path. But an easy path never builds strength. Comfort never creates resilience. If you never struggle, you never grow. If you never push through difficulty, you never develop the mental toughness you need to survive at higher levels. People want success, but they don't want the struggle that comes with it. They want greatness. That's why so many people stay exactly where they are. They don't realize that the struggle they are avoiding is the very thing that will unlock their potential. When struggle hits, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can decide that it's too much and walk away, or you can decide that no matter how hard it gets, you will find a way through. The people who refuse to give up are the ones who rise. They are the ones who find a way, even when there seems to be no way. They don't wait for things to get easier, they get stronger. They don't complain about how hard it is, they use that difficulty as fuel. They take every setback and turn it into an opportunity. Your struggles are not meaningless. They are shaping you in ways you can't see yet. They are forcing you to become the person you need to be for the life you are meant to live. Every challenge you overcome is a step closer to your breakthrough. Every hardship you endure is proof that you are getting stronger. But only if you refuse to quit. Only if you stop seeing struggles as barriers and start seeing them as stepping. Only if you decide that no matter how hard it gets, you will keep pushing forward. Most people wait for motivation to take action. They think they need to feel inspired, energized, or excited before they do something difficult. But that's the biggest lie holding people back. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, and other days you don't even want to get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, you will only show up when it's convenient, and that's why so many people never reach their goals. They keep waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the right circumstances. But the people who achieve real success, the people who transform their lives, they don't wait for motivation. They build discipline. They take action, even when they don't feel like it. Discipline is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It's showing up when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you don't see immediate results. It's making a commitment to yourself and keeping it, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're hard. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It's consistency. It's the ability to show up every single day, even when there's no immediate reward, even when there's no guarantee of success. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. If they feel like working out, they go to the gym. If they feel like working on their goals, they put in the effort. But the second they feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged, they stop, they take days off, they make excuses, and before they know it, weeks have passed and they've made no progress. The people who win in life understand that feelings don't matter. They don't wait to feel ready. They act regardless. They know that the hardest days are the most important ones to push through because that's where real growth happens. Taking action creates momentum. When you move even when you don't feel like it, your brain starts to shift. The more you show up, the more natural it becomes. The more disciplined you are, the less you rely on motivation because it becomes a habit. You don't wake up questioning whether you should do it, you just do it because that's who you are. Discipline builds identity. When you prove to yourself over and over that you can keep going no matter what, you start to see yourself differently. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who struggles with motivation and start believing that you are the kind of person who follows through. Success is not about how you feel in the moment, it's about what you do despite how you feel. It's about waking up and handling your responsibilities whether you feel like it or not. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, knowing that small, consistent actions compound over time. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's the difference between staying stuck and breaking through. It's the foundation of every achievement, every transformation, every level of success. And once you master it, you no longer need motivation. You just need to decide, commit, and take action. When life gets hard, the first instinct is to look for an escape. People want shortcuts, easy routes, ways to avoid pain, stress, and discomfort. But the truth is, there is no way around struggle. The only way out is through. The only way to get to the other side of your challenges is to face them head on, to walk through the fire, to endure the storm instead of running from it. Most people waste so much energy avoiding difficulty that they never realize they are prolonging their suffering. The longer you resist, the longer you stay stuck. The more you try to escape, the more control you give to your circumstances instead of taking charge of them. Fear is what keeps people from moving forward. The fear of failure, the fear of pain, the fear of uncertainty. The mind starts creating worst-case scenarios, making you believe that what lies ahead is too much to handle. So instead of pushing through, you hesitate, you procrastinate, you convince yourself that waiting is a better option, that the right time will come, that someday you'll feel ready, but that day never comes. There is never a perfect moment, there is only now, and the longer you wait, the harder it gets to take action. Growth never happens in comfort. Strength is not built in ease. The challenges you face are not there to break you. They are there to build you. Every person who has ever achieved something great has had to go through struggle. There is no exception. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not luck, not talent, not privilege. It's the willingness to go through the process, to endure the hard days, to keep moving forward even when everything inside them is screaming to quit. When you choose to face your struggles instead of avoiding them, something shifts. You start to realize that fear is just an illusion, that pain is temporary, that discomfort is not the enemy. It's a necessary part of becoming stronger. The moments you want to quit the most are the moments that define you. If you can push through when it feels impossible, You will discover a level of strength you never knew you had, but you will never find that strength if you keep running, if you keep waiting, if you keep searching for an easier way. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a lesson. Every hardship is shaping you into the person you are meant to become, but only if you are willing to go through it. If you avoid the process, you stay the same. If you refuse to face your challenges, you never move forward. The pain of struggle is nothing compared to the pain of regret. The regret of knowing you had a chance to push through, but you chose to give up. The regret of knowing you let fear control your life instead of stepping into your full potential. No one else can do this for you. No one else can walk through your struggles. No one else can fight your battles. It is up to you to make the decision. It is up to you to keep moving, no matter how slow, no matter how painful, no matter how uncertain the path may seem. The other side of struggle is growth. The other side of pain is strength, but you will never reach it if you don't go through it. Every single decision you make today is shaping the person you are becoming. Every action, every choice, every habit is building the future version of yourself. The question is, are you making decisions that your future self will thank you for? Or are you making choices that will leave you filled with regret? Most people live their lives reacting to the present moment without ever considering the long-term impact of their actions. They take the easy route, they avoid discomfort, they procrastinate on their goals, and they tell themselves they'll get serious later. But later never comes. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and before they know it, years have passed, and they are still in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. Your future self is watching. The version of you 5 years from now, 10 years from now is waiting to see what you will do today. Will you put in the work, or will you make excuses? Will you push through discomfort, or will you choose the temporary relief of quitting? Will you stay disciplined, or will you let your emotions dictate your actions? The choices you make now are writing the story of your life. Every day is an opportunity to move closer to the person you want to become or further away from it. There is no in-between. You are either growing or staying stuck. Most people fail to take action because they believe they have time. They think there will always be another chance, another opportunity, another day to get serious. But time is not guaranteed. You don't get to control how much of it you have. What you do control is how you use it. Wasting time is the most expensive mistake you can make because once it's gone, you can never get it back. The version of you that you dream of becoming, the stronger, more successful, more disciplined version, does not appear out of nowhere. That version of you is built through small, consistent actions. The things you do every single day matter more than you realize. The late-night distractions, the skipped workouts, the decisions to put things off until tomorrow, they all add up. If you could sit down with your future self, what would they say to you? Would they be proud of the work you're doing now, or would they be disappointed that you wasted time? Would they thank you for the sacrifices you made, or would they wonder why you gave up so easily? The best way to create a future you're proud of is to start acting like that person today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. If you want to be stronger, start training. If you want to be more disciplined, start keeping your promises to yourself. If you want success, start putting in the work. Your future self is counting on you to make the right choices. The hard choices, the uncomfortable choices, the choices that require effort, patience, and resilience. Every time you push through, every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you take action instead of making excuses, you are building that future. And one day you will look back and either be grateful that you showed up for yourself, or regret that you didn't. The outcome is in your hands. The work you put in today will determine the person you become tomorrow.